Yo, what's happening? This is Apex, and you are now tuned in to the Apex 3900 program. And today I want to talk about honor and finessing. You know, I was talking to a particular sergeant of mine not too long ago, and I told him about, we were talking about a former first sergeant that was in our company, right? And he left. And a lot of people didn't like him because this particular first sergeant pushed a hard line. You know what I mean? He pushed a hard line. And if you know anything about the Army, you have a lot of people who are shitbags. That's a colloquialism, a colloquial that is used in the Army. Is basically if somebody calls you a shitbag, that means that you're really lazy and you're really trying to finesse the system and get over on the system. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to derive more benefits from the Army than you are putting in. You know what I mean? And the active verb for a shitbag is called shamming, right? You can go on TikTok, go to Mill Talk, look it up, and you'll see motherfuckers talking about shamming. Shamming is the act of shitbagging, you know. And I was telling them uh, about this particular first sergeant that we had, and he was here. He was only here for a brief time, so I really didn't know him, right? But I sat back and I watched what kind of character this man had, right? Now we had this particular exercise that we had to do one morning. It was a 4 mile run. You have to run this 4 miles in under 36 minutes, right? That's 4 miles in 36 minutes. And if you didn't complete it, if you didn't pass, then you had to do it next week, right? But if you passed, the next week we had a run week. Instead of running 4 miles, all you had to do is run 2 miles, right? So I'm fresh out of AIT, so I'm supercharged. I'm high speed like a motherfucker, you know. And I get done, and this particular gentleman gave me a ride to the area, the AO that we were doing this 4 miler. And I was telling this sergeant of mine about the situation, right? So the soldier, my battle buddy, he gives me a ride to this particular AO. We start running. Now this particular battle buddy of mine, he's not very adept at long distances. He's fast. Don't get me wrong. Like when it comes to short sprints, that motherfucker got it. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna hate. But long distance, he just doesn't apply himself, right? So we're doing the exercise. I complete the 4 mile in 35 minutes, 30 seconds, right? So I pass. Now he's my ride. Now this particular first sergeant, he was the pace man, right? So he was running this shit with us, and he was running it at a 36-minute pace. So that means if you weren't in front of him, you weren't gonna pass. You know what I mean? Because he was the pacer. I was probably several meters, about 10 or so meters ahead of him, right? So I completed it in time. I passed. My battle, so the first sergeant, I come across the finish line, I complete it. Then shortly after that, first sergeant comes, right? And then I want to say shortly after that, my battle comes across, right? Or something to that effect. I believe my battle. Yeah. Something like that. It was something to where he didn't pass it, right? And so we, I get my time recorded, and then the first sergeant asks him like, "Hey, such and such, did you pass?" And he lied to this man's face. He was like, "Yeah, I passed." And then the first sergeant was like, "You sure about that? Because I ran it in 36-minute pace, and you weren't in front of me." He was like, "Nah, first sergeant, I passed. I passed. Yup, I passed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm." And first sergeant didn't even argue with him. He just looked at him and just was like, "Okay, all right." So I get back in the car with my battle buddy, and I'm like, "Bro, I don't think you should have did that." And this younger brother, he's probably about 10, 11 years younger than me. He's probably about 20, 25, 26, 27 or whatever. And he was like, man, whatever, man. I'm like, bro, you shouldn't have did that, man. He was like, man, whatever, man, whatever. He kind of got upset, And as the Bible says, if you correct a fool, he will hate you. But if you rebuke a wise man, he will love you all the more, you know. So I gave him correction, and he didn't take to it too well. Well, lo and behold, he applies for a waiver to get rank, to get ranked up. He wants to go from E3 to E4, and you need a waiver to do that. Now, this particular battle buddy of mine is very knowledgeable in the piece of equipment that we have. We're on the same team, so we work on the same piece of equipment. Very knowledgeable. If something needs to be done, he's volunteering to do it. You know what I mean? Like, apart from that particular incident, he's a pretty squared away soldier. I'm not gonna besmirch the brother's name. I'm not gonna sit up here and make him out to be like a complete shitbag. It's just some instances, and I've done it. I've shammed. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you need a break, So I'm not knocking that brother like that. But when you lie to somebody's face in the manner in which he did, that speaks volumes about your character. That shows a lack of honor. You know what I'm saying? Even if you are, for the most part, a pretty squared away soldier, and you're pretty high speed as far as our particular MOS and job is concerned, that still spoke to your character, right? So he puts in a waiver and to try to get E4, and First Sergeant denied him. He was like, nope, denied him. And we were sitting around the motor pool one day, and he was complaining, man, First Sergeant such and such, man, he a bitch, man. I put in my waiver to go E4, he ain't want to give it to me. I said, hey, bro, remember that time we had that 4-miler, and you lied to First Sergeant's face? I told you shouldn't have did that. I told you. Because I said First Sergeant's like around my age. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little older. Probably late 30s, early 40s or whatever. Man, when you get up around my age and older, bro, it ain't too much you can do. It ain't too much bullshit that you can pull over on men of our age range. And the problem that I have with these millennials and these younger millennials, because I am a millennial and I believe the brother is a millennial too, but I believe he's a younger millennial. I'm an older millennial. Shout out to us young old niggas. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mr. Fantastic, right? But the zillennials, bro, they got this shit bad. They got this whole finessing thing real bad. I mean, everything is about finessing, getting over on somebody. They're out here finessing the guys. They trying to finesse females. They out here trying to finesse establishments and running scams and what have you. Hell, these motherfuckers even trying to finesse the United States Army. You know what I mean? They finessing everything on 2 feet. They finessing everything that ain't nailed down. You know what I'm saying? And the difference between the zillennials and the millennials and Gen Xers and whatnot, and generations before, is that we had a sense of shame. That's not to say that brothers in my age range don't engage in finessing. I just had a particular long time associate of mine, brother I went to high school with. I think he graduated before I got to the high school, but I seen him around the town or whatever. I seen him around, right? Because even in middle school, I would go up to the high school and watch basketball games and football games, so I seen him. But even after high school, I worked with him at a couple of jobs. And, we have mutual friends or whatever, but he's more of an associate of mine. This nigga hit me up on IG with this whole, hey, man, hey, if you cash at me $50, man, I can flip it and get you back 500, man. 40-year-old man, bruh. 40-year-old man. And this is a quick digression, but you know, I'm friends with him on IG and Facebook. If you go through this brother's pictures and shit, you know, he's got the dreadlocks going, he's got the fucking skinny jeans going with all the different color patches on him and shit, dressing like he's goddamn 19 years old. And I'm like, that's just sad. That's sad. 40-year-old man, grown ass man, out here dressing like a fucking teeny bopper and trying to finesse his fellow brother out of a few out of 30 pieces of silver and shit. You know, for fucking peanuts, G. I'm like, nigga, if you don't get your big rusty, crusty, hairy ass up and go get a fucking trade or something, go get your CDLs or something, go get a job, nigga. Damn, I can't stand that shit, bruh. That's loser shit. See, that's Pookie shit. That's what I'm talking about. Pookies are losers. Let me say that again. I know this ain't the video for that, but that's a case in point. Pookies are losers. But anyway, let me digress again and get back to my original point that I was making. Even though you do have brothers in my generation who do finesse, there was a sense of shame if you were finessing. If in my generation, if you tried to finesse somebody and you got called out for it, you felt shame because you like, damn, man, my honor, I'm out here looking dishonorable out here. You know what I'm saying? But these new motherfuckers, they have no shame. They'll finesse you, and then when you call them out for finessing you, they'll be like, yeah, nigga, I finessed you. I'm smarter than you because I was able to use subterfuge to deceive you. See, that makes me smarter than you. Brother, that ain't apex, nigga. That is not apex. That is foxtrot behavior. That's not even beta behavior. That's foxtrot behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, G. Let's get it together, man. Let's have some scruples about ourselves, man. Let's have some honor out here, you know. And for you young brothers listening to me, don't get wrapped up in that finesse culture shit, man. Cause I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Every day we walk the earth, we are amassing judgment for ourselves, whether that judgment is good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant. What you don't want to do is amass a lot of unpleasant judgment that is going to befall you, because I'm telling you, you run around here cracking cards, scamming old folks out of their money, you know, trying to finesse motherfuckers and shit. That shit is going to come back. It's going to come back. And when it comes back around, trust me, it's going to take a chunk out of your ass. So, man, we got to get up on our righteous shit, man, our honorable shit, man. Because, like it says in the scriptures, Proverbs chapter 3, verses 32 through 35, the devious person is an abomination to the Lord, but the upright are in his confidence. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the dwelling of the righteous. Toward the scorners he is scornful, but to the humble he gives favor. The wise will inherit honor, but the fools get disgrace. You wanna walk like kings out here, brothers. You wanna walk like royalty with honor. You don't want to be a disgraced fool out here, you know? But yeah, man, that's all I got, man. Honor versus finessing. Thick gizzle, man. Get up on that.